laughing. I trust I haven't kept you waiting too long.
Read that again, will you?
Enter laughing. I trust I haven't kept you waiting too...
Young man, there is a parenthesis around enter laughing. It is a stage direction.
Oh, that means I laugh when I enter.
Exactly. Enter laughing means that you laugh when you enter. Proceed.
May I ask a question?
Hmm?
What is he laughing about?
What is he laughing about?
It's in the nature of the character. You see, Jeff Hemming is a devil-may-care young man, and he's just broken into a solemn family gathering. They're reading the will.
Who died?
His uncle.
And he's laughing? Why?
Just let me hear you laugh and then go into the speech.
Just let him hear you laugh and then go into the speech.
It's an amused laugh, boy.
Amused?
Amused, boy. Amused. Splendid. Now.
Okay, we're going to add a few more to our list of great movies that you probably haven't heard of, and if you have, you may have missed. This is from 1967, and it's called Enter Laughing. It stars one of my favorite actors, Jose Ferer. But the scene you just saw there, this was written by and directed by Carl Reiner. If you notice early in that scene right there, there's a guy named Richard Deacon. He was in the Dick Van Dyke Show, which is also from Carl Reiner. But the young kid there is a guy named Rene Santoni. And this movie gets better and better every time you watch it. And there are so many parts of it like that are just laugh out loud crazy. When it actually gets to the scene where you just saw, it's even funnier. Now, Rene Santoni, you might have recognized him a little bit from something else if you're a Seinfeld fan. So let me show you another clip from Rene Santoni. This guy's got range. This whole movie's excellent, but check this out too.
I want you to sit down, Papa. You're still recuperating. Well, you tired, Poppy?
No.
Hey, Poppy. You really think people want to make their own pizza?
Kramer, did I ever tell you about my mother? My mother.
There you go. Anyway, I'm sorry again about
The what?
So long, huh? I'll see you tonight, Rick. All right. Kramer, what is this?
What is what?
This puddle on my sofa.
What puddle?
That puddle!
I don't know.
Is it? Could it? Could he have? It is! Poppy peed on my sofa! Sure?
Yeah, that's Poppy from Seinfeld, the one who peed on Jerry's couch. You've seen him in a lot of other movies, too. He's a pretty good character actor. Surprised after that role that it didn't make him into a much bigger star. For whatever reason it did. And he's fairly well known. You've seen him before in other things. But this is one that is really interesting. If you go to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, the reviews on this seem to be really high, or people just don't like it. I love it. I think it's an underrated classic. I don't know why it's not shown more or talked about, especially among some of the older comedians. You would think they would see this and know, and especially being directed by Carl Reiner. But for some reason, this movie just got lost in the shuffle over the years, and not a real popular movie, not real well known. But if you have a certain sense of humor like myself, if you thought that first part was funny, that's not the funniest part even. It gets better. And it's also kind of poignant. This is a nice little movie, other than the fact that some of the funny parts are just side-splitting hilarious. This is a 10 out of 10 to me. I'm still working out whether this is going to be on my list of all-time greatest movies. I like it that much. If it is, obviously it's going to be at the back end in the 80s to 100s. But that's still great. This is fantastic. So I start off with something lighthearted. Next, we're going to follow and look at a more recent movie. Two more recent movies, actually. One's from the 80s, so recent for me. It's about 40 years old. A little more gritty. Definitely movies have been lost in the shuffle. A lot of people haven't heard about these, but really good movies nevertheless. The first, let's go back to the 1980s, and one of Sean Penn's first real dramatic roles, may have been his first. This is called Bad Boys. It has nothing to do with the Martin Lawrence Will Smith series. Completely different. Almost shot entirely in one small set. Check a clip out of this, and then we'll get into more detail on it. There's a lot to unpack in this next movie.
What happened to your face?
Hey, fuckhead.
What's it to you? I asked you a question.
I cut myself shaving.
I got news for you, fuckhead. In here, me and him. We're it. And you're on shithouse patrol until we say different. You got it?
That's Bad Boys from 1983, starring Sean Penn. And right at the beginning there, you might have thought the guy hassling Sean Penn, you might have picked him right out, but it looks a little familiar. That's Clancy Brown. You know, he's the guard, the chief guard in the movie Shawshank Redemption, and he also does the voice of Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob SquarePants. Sorry. That guy, Clancy Brown's an underrated actor. He was in a movie with Dennis Quaid, and it's one of the most poignant scenes. I'm doing a thing on great acting pieces that you might have missed that he's in, where his son is killed, and it's just a brutal scene. There's also something else I just learned today, actually, preparing for this. And that scene in the very back, when they shift to the three guys, there's a black guy in the center and two other guys. They are obviously overseers of the prison or something. One of those guys is Rene Santoni, which we just saw in Dinner Laughing. Obviously, this is not a funny movie or comedy bit. He's really good at that, too. Another person that's in this is Alan Ruck. He is Cameron Fry from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't know why this movie didn't do better in the theaters, and you don't see it on repeats. I haven't seen it in years. Sean Penn is fantastic in this. Clancy Brown is fantastic. The kid sitting next to Sean Penn is an actor named Eric Gurry. My name's Eric Gurr. Same name, just with a Y at the end. He really is good in this. But what's really even better is the direction. Now, this is largely a movie about revenge, but it's also about redemption. It's a really good script, and it's directed by a guy named Rick Rosenthal, and he's not well known, but he did, the best I could find was 2 of the Halloween movies, a couple other things you might have seen, but not real well known, but he did just a fantastic job in the direction of this. There's no overacting. It didn't turn into a cheap prison movie with stupid dialogue. None of that happens. Every character central to the story seems to be developed a little bit. Even Clancy Brown's character, I think his name's Viking in it, shows vulnerability at times. There's a time where he's trying to read, and it's This is an excellent movie. It really is. Is it one of the greatest of all time? No, but it's one you should see. It's rough, and some bad stuff happens, but you really, because it is so well done, you see at some level that these kids in this juvenile prison facility, and that's what it is, are still kids. They're still developing themselves, learning. They still want redemption. This is a movie I think you're going to enjoy. It's, again, probably not for everybody, but I think most people get something out of this, and a lot of you are really going to like this. It's one you've probably never heard of, and definitely one you've missed. The other one coming up is another gritty movie. It's called The Killer Inside Me, and it stars Casey Affleck. Let's take a look at that one.
Phil, hun?
No, I've got to go.
All right. So you're a deputy sheriff? You don't even carry a gun.
No, I don't.
What if some crook should try to shoot you?
Well, I'll tell you a secret. I don't have too many crooks in Central City.
It's good to know.
I started needling people. I couldn't help it. I guess it was a substitute for something else. Thank you, Max.
You don't have to pay. I want to thank you for what you've done for my Johnny. No one else would have done what you did.
Thank you very much, Max. I appreciate that.
It's made a big difference.
You know, I figure that you don't get any more out of life than what you put into it.
You're right there, Lou.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna push off. I got a whole lot of getting around to do, and I don't want to rush. Haste makes waste.
You all right?
Evening.
Hey, how about it, bud? Huh? How about it? Look, I've been on a hell of a binge, and if I don't get some food in me pretty soon, I'm just gonna kill over here, you know.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Need something to warm you up, huh?
Oh, anything, just anything at all. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, bud! What the hell are you trying to do with that, huh?
See that? That's a real life sheriff's badge.
Sure.
Beat it.
Sure, bud. Sure. I'm going. You better watch it with that stuff, bud.
You think so?
You just better watch it.
That's Casey Affleck from 2010's The Killer Inside Me. Not a real popular movie for some reason, because I think this one's vastly underrated. This is an excellent movie. It's not for everybody, but if you liked No Country for Old Men, Casey Affleck's portrayal of a sociopath here, I think, is as good as Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. It is brutal. It is terrifying in places. There's a twist near the end that at first you're happy and you're excited that this twist, and then you kind of have this realization, oh, things could get worse. The undercurrent here is that you're being led down a path that this is just a revenge thing, and really Sheriff Lou, or Deputy Sheriff Lou here, played by Affleck, is just after revenge from against one guy. And as it starts to play out, you realize this isn't what's going on here. This guy's truly a sociopath. And what I particularly like is the way the voiceover is done in this. He's not explaining the movie to you or anything. And he's not even really justifying his actions. He's just telling you he doesn't know why he's like this. This is a good one. Again, not for everybody. If you like No Country for Old Men, I think you're going to love this. Is it a better movie? No, I don't think so necessarily. Is it as good as? Yeah, for some of you. You'll like it just as much. Supporting cast, got Ned Beatty in it as well as Jessica Alba and Kate Hudson. But everything just fits together in this one. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's a suspense. It's a thriller. There's no murder mystery here. You know what's going on in pretty much the whole movie. But it is rough. I'd advise this one, be in a good place when you're watching this, is settle into this movie. It's one that's going to grip you. It's that good. So this is a 10 out of 10 for me. Again, it's not on my list of greatest right now, but it may be. I reevaluate the back ones. That's why I start with the first ones on that list. Excellent movie. Check it out. I hope you enjoy it. Not a lot of trivia that I add or anything in this. It's just a powerful, gritty. What I mean by gritty is it's dark. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, but at the same time, it can make you really uncomfortable. So check this out. That's our first three of the movies. We did the other one, Badlands, that you need to check out. That's really good too. But I'm going to try to keep these going for you as well. I think you'll like them.